Game 3 between Kansas and Kansas State. We'll find out in the coming hours from inside Lee Arena on the campus of Washburn University in Topeka. Kansas State alumni with a win tonight can advance to the next round of the alumni bracket at TBT 2026. But look at all the Rock Chalk Jayhawk trying to force Kansas onto a decisive Game 3 in this series. Welcome courtside, Nick Ba, the former Jayhawk, and Chris Foster is on hand. That's one of the cool elements of TBT in 2026. These first round matchups on the alumni side are best 2 out of 3.
Yeah, and when you add into the fact that they're rivalries, it's even more intense. And certainly you see what happened in the state of Kentucky. La Familia, Archie Goodwin leading the way. Kentucky advances. Cole Swider was terrific for Syracuse. And last night, the biggest star on the floor was Michael Beasley for K-State, who put on a show, Chris. There was a lot of curiosity on how this Wildcat would perform in his TBT debut, and he was shot out of a cannon. Really set the tone. I think that got all the role players comfortable, but he put his fingerprints all over the stat sheet. I thought it was the 6 assists, his passing, that impressed me the most. It's going to be really important for KU to have an answer in trying to slow down Michael Beasley.
They're playing for $2 million and that trophy right there, which will be handed out on August 2nd. Kansas State with a win can move on to the next round, or Jayhawks hoops can force a Game 3. Frank Mason, one of the former Jayhawk stars on the court tonight for the Kansas Alumni team. That dude wasn't even born when Frank Mason III was playing for Kansas. Let's take a look at the starting lineups. First for Kansas State, brought to you by We Them Ones. It's the same starting five as last night, and of course it would be for head coach Lance Harris. There's Michael Beasley anchoring this starting lineup. An 80-61 win for the Kansas State Alumni last night inside Bramlage Coliseum. Jayhawks Hoops is going to change things up a little bit. Frank Mason and Zeke Mayo are the only returning starters from last night's game. Jacob Hanna, Carlton Bragg Jr., and Billy Preston draw into the starting five.
Well, and that guy right there, Frank Mason, struggled a little bit last night. He was just 1 for 5 from the floor, 1 for 7 from the floor, excuse me, and ended up with 7 turnovers as well. And that guy, Xavier Sneed, was the primary defender. His length and size bothered Frank Mason. Mason and Mayo, those two guys really have to score for KU. And last night they struggled. 5 for 20 between the two of them. We'll see if they can knock down some shots here in game number 2.
Billy Preston was a pleasant surprise for Jayhawks Hoops in game 1. He finished with 15 points in 24 minutes. He gets the start tonight. Kansas Alumni needs to win tonight to force a game 3 at Bramlage Coliseum. If Kansas State wins tonight in a de facto road game, they will move on to the second round of the alumni bracket. There's a non-alumni bracket that tipped off in Las Vegas today. We'll continue to keep you posted on that side of the bracket as we move through the action here tonight.
Boy, what a crowd. This is the home of Washburn University, Division II school here in Topeka, and this thing is pretty much full, Chris.
Listed capacity of Lee Arena, 4,150. And yes, it is pretty close to that mark here tonight. We are in Topeka, right in between Lawrence and Manhattan. And the crowd reflects that. There is a tie-dye melange of colors. You've got the Jayhawk Nation blue and red and the Kansas State purple and silver.
The crowd made a difference last night for Kansas State. We'll see if the KU fans can make a difference tonight for the Jayhawks.
Austin Trice wins the opening tip-off for Purple Rain, and they start with the rock. Brandon Childress is the point guard for this Purple Rain squad out of Wake Forest, one of 3 non-K-State alumni players on the roster. And the first shot of the game off the mark from DeJuan Gordon.
When we talked to Sharon Collins, he said the #1 thing we have to do is take care of the basketball. That was a big problem. 19 turnovers in game 1 for Kansas.
Both these teams coached by alums. Is Frank Mason. That's a good start for Frank.
Yes. He's got to be the guy for this Jayhawk Hoops team. And he never really got it going yesterday. And certainly him getting it going allows for other guys to get freed up as well, like this dude, Zeke Mayo, who struggled as well from beyond the arc.
Beasley off the mark from 3, and so Nick, this is Kansas's first lead of TBT. They did not lead at all last night in Manhattan.
See Frank Mason attacking Xavier Sneed, and sometimes there's a feeling out process on how to go about attacking a guy like Sneed, who's long and athletic. Mason had a hard time last night. And it's got to feel good for him to get his first shot of the day down.
Sneed launches the 3 and hits. Xavier Sneed, 16 points last night in Kansas State's round 1 win.
He was terrific. 8 rebounds. He also had 3 steals. Nice little set play from Lance Harris to free up Sneed for the triple.
Preston, guarded by Gordon, draws the foul.
Preston in game 1 led Kansas in field goal attempts. He took 15 shots. And former McDonald's All-American, really talented guy. He's got to take the right shots. They need him to be aggressive, but I thought a couple of times last night he pounded the ball too much and his possessions got stagnant.
6 for 15 from the floor last night for Preston, now 28 years old, out of Redondo Beach, California. And this is his 3rd summer playing for the Kansas Alumni team in TBT. 1 for 2 at the line.
I was impressed last night how Michael Beasley let the game come to him as well. It never felt like he was hunting shots or getting too anxious. He trusted his teammates.
Sneed coaxes that one down. He's 2 for 2 from 3.
Sneed more of a driver and a defender when he was in college, but how about some triples to get the party started here in game 2.
Mason off the mark. Jacob Hanna wins the offensive rebound. Hanna was a star right here for the Washburn Ichabods. Mayo with an air ball.
Mayo 1 for 7 from 3 last night.
And a traveling violation on DeJuan Gordon. It's Kansas ball.
Well, the story of the first game was Kansas State's half-court defense and how disruptive it was. 14 steals, 26 points off turnovers. And so we'll see if K-State can reestablish themselves on this end of the floor.
Here's Hanna to the rack.
That's what he does best. He's a downhill driver, big-bodied wing that loves to attack the rim.
Played on a Division II Final Four team here in 2025 for the Ichabods. This is Preston, his teammate, working on Childress. And that goes through.
It's also a back-to-back. And this guy right here, Brandon Childress, played 33 minutes last night and had to do a lot. He had to run the show. We'll see what kind of gas these guys got in the tank.
Beasley 0 for 2 to start. 4 9-minute quarters here in TBT games. And then, of course, the Elam ending at the end of the 4th quarter. That's a turnover for JHX Hoops, which spelled their doom last night, as you mentioned.
Well, great start for Frank Mason. Frustrating start for Zeke Mayo. Misses the first 3 badly and then a turnover. Got to settle into this game. I always felt like as a shooter, when you're searching to get back into a rhythm, you got to make sure you take the right first 3. I didn't love the first 3 he took.
Sean Williams out to Beasley. Good ball movement for K-State. Childress. Shot nearly blocked by Hanna, but Childress had the elevation on it.
Pretty amazing. Brandon Childress last night only made 1 field goal, and it was the Elam ending game winner.
That's right.
So he wants to set the table, but that was pretty good defense, just better offense.
Preston with an air ball, and Sneed keeps it alive for Purple Rain. That was the shot that you didn't want Preston to take.
That's right.
And it leads to a 3 for Sean Williams.
It's amazing how that works. A bad shot oftentimes is the first pass for the fast break the other way for the opposition.
Williams has not been in the starting lineup for Purple Rain, but 15 points last night and already 3 tonight. Williams played at K-State from 2018 to 2020. Preston again. Boy, JHX Hoops is running their offense through Billy Preston.
You just got to, I suppose, live and die with his shot selection because he can flat out score.
Beasley, 4-3.
How talented is this guy? It's just surreal, and it's got to be so fun for him to have a K-State uniform on and playing again, representing the Wildcats.
Offensive foul on JHX Hoops' Jamari Traylor. That's his second.
You hear the big roar of the crowd for Mario Chalmers, who didn't play very much last night. Only 8 minutes for Mario Chalmers, but I think the plan is to get him on the floor a little bit more. We'll see what the 40-year-old former most outstanding player of the Final Four in 2008's got in store.
Oh, Xavier Sneed is red hot to start this game.
Same exact set for the first 3, just the other way. Sneed is rolling.
Mason through traffic, misses the finger roll. Rebound loose, and Childress eventually finds it. Sneed on the run. Williams in and out. And the ball out of bounds. Timeout on the floor. Xavier Sneed getting Purple Rain off to a great start.
Well, he's a 3-and-D guy. Last night it was the defense. Tonight it's the 3 ball. Xavier Sneed filling it up.
Kansas did score the first bucket of the game, but Kansas State has picked up where it left off after a Game 1 win last night. Kansas State has had an alumni team in TBT now 9 years. Some key new additions this year. Michael Beasley, the biggest name of them all.
Yeah, absolutely. He's the biggest addition of the entire tournament, in my opinion. But with the rules this year, the alumni's teams can have a maximum of 4 newcomers in terms of non-alumni guys, call them portal guys. And so how you go about filling out your roster, very important. You see the additions to Kansas's unit as well. Certainly the big one, that guy right there, Mario Chalmers.
Andrew Orr on that list, a non-Jayhawk, but he also played at Washburn. He's on the floor right now. And reflecting back to the Purple Rain newcomers, Deontay Robertson and John Florvius. If you're a Kansas State fan watching, yes, they are portal players, not former Wildcats. However, they both have TBT experience with other programs coming into this year. So valuable assets on the experience front for Purple Rain.
It's good to get Chalmers in the game because he can run the point, which allows Mason to focus on scoring. Great perimeter jumper from Carlton Bragg, but Mario Chalmers, I think, is an X factor in this game to handle the ball and allow Mason to just focus on shooting and scoring.
Just the second three-pointer attempted by Jayhawks hoops in this game. Lead down to 5 in game 2 of a best-of-3 series after Purple Rain took game 1 last night. Someone's got to put a man on Xavier Sneed. Mario Chalmers, however, whistled for the foul. And Sneed right now has 3 free throws coming his way unless Kansas elects to challenge this.
3 shots for Xavier Sneed.
Take another look at it as Sneed has been on fire. He gets freed up. I think Mario Chalmers knew that he made a mental mistake stepping off. Oh, man. Mario Chalmers is absolutely right. There was no contact there, but Sneed sold it, kind of flailed his arms and legs, and he's at the line now. What a start for Sneed.
10 points already, and challenges in TBT follow college basketball rules as of just last season, the 25-26 season. So both teams have a challenge. If they're successful, they get to keep their challenge. Sneed 2 for 3 at the line. Cannon with a slip pass to Bragg. He loses it on the way up, but a foul called. And free throws coming up for Bragg. Orvius picks up the personal off the bench for Purple Rain.
I think one of the things that stands out when you watch Kansas play is they're in need of some physicality, and Bragg and Jamari Traylor are the two guys that can provide that. So you got to find a way to put their fingerprints on this thing one way or another in that department. I know Bragg knocked down a 3 early on, but you need some bumping and some grinding from those two guys in the paint.
You mentioned points off turnovers, so lopsided in favor of Purple Rain last night. So were paint points, 40-22.
Yeah. And you could just feel that Kansas State's bigger, more physical, and even Sharon Collins said they out-toughed us in game 1.
Bragg in and out. He's still got 4 points. Childress, who had 7 assists and 5 steals last night, gets the offense going for Purple Rain. Williams, a tough shot. Orr the rebound. Nice applause for Orr, who played here at Washburn. Bragg underneath, blocked by Sneed, and that's what Sneed can do on the defensive side of the floor.
What a play.
Shot fake, elbow J. Sneed is a one-man band right now.
How do you start a game better than what Xavier Sneed has? Doing it on both ends of the floor.
Mason scored Jayhawk Soup's first bucket. 2 minutes to go, first quarter. Bragg around and out. Sneed another rebound.
It's pretty scary that Michael Beasley hasn't really done much in this quarter, and K-State has built a lead.
Well, Xavier Sneed was on the roster 2 years ago. Injured, did not play, but he is healthy and ready to go this year. Now there's a broken play that Frank Mason turns into a layup. Saw too much of that going the other way last night.
Exactly right, Chris. Didn't get much of that for KU, a ton of it for K-State.
Childress off the mark, Chalmers the rebound. Bragg coughs it up. Tough pass to handle. Sneed, Main Street, look out! Drive and kick, and a foul called.
Just once again, all turnovers are bad, but not all turnovers are created equal. And it's been the live ball run-out turnovers that have been very problematic for Kansas. And you have to credit Kansas State. They're active. All 5 guys have a disruptive defensive mindset. They've been in the gaps, and sometimes that's not there when you put together a roster, and the TBT guys are good at guarding their individual man, but maybe help side defense rotations aren't on point. They've been on point for K-State.
It's another foul on Jayhawks hoops. It's on Traylor, and that's his 3rd. He just checked back into the game, Nick.
That's unfortunate.
So Kansas State into the bonus, and that's 2 free throws automatically. It's not a 1-and-1.
That guy right there was one of the greatest Kansas guards of all time in Sharon Collins. He's a high school coach now.
Yes, he is now coaching at Oak Park, just across the state line in Missouri.
Same high school as former Jayhawk national champion Ochai Agbaji. So Ochai Agbaji is heavily involved in his high school alma mater's program, led by Sharon Collins. Just one big Jayhawk family.
One big Jayhawk family, and Agbaji bought the state championship rings for his alma mater, we understand, when they won the state title in Missouri.
I imagine those were probably pretty iced out, pretty good-looking championship rings.
Yeah. Another foul called here. This is on Sean Williams. First personal on Williams. Third team foul. Kevin Young is checked into the game for the first time for JHX Hoops, wearing a face mask, along with Tradeon Hollins. Good pass on the inbounds.
Really smart from Mario Chalmers. Immediately recognized the switch with Beasley out on him and knew where to go with the rock.
5-point lead for Purple Rain. DeJuan Gordon, offensive foul. Gordon picks up his second.
Threw Tradeon Hollins off the floor. You don't see that.
No.
There are hooks and then they're tossed off the floor.
Kevin Young directing traffic down to the opposite side of the floor. Mario Chalmers with it, looking for his first points in TBT. And he turns it over. Austin Trice on the run out. Trice! And Kevin Young with a great play defensively. We saw Trice assault the rim numerous times last night, but Young tracked him down.
This is Kevin Young's identity as a player. All effort and grit. Saves a dunk with a sprint, getting a hand on it. Really, really good hustle.
Now we're going to get a challenge out of this, however.
Official timeout for review.
In all likelihood, challenging the out-of-bounds ruling. It was called Kansas State ball, and Kansas is challenging, thinking it should be their ball. Take a look.
Let's see. That's close. Boy, what do you think, Chris? That's Kevin Young gets a hand on it, but does it touch Trice right at the end? I was thinking that was going to be more definitive before we looked at the replay, and I'm not sure.
Simply because of how demonstrative JHX Hoops bench was. They immediately, and teams are allowed iPads on the bench this year. They immediately signaled for a review.
I love Trice's right thumb. That's my question. It gets nudged out of his hands by Young. Does it just graze the thumb of Trice?
Okay. So a successful challenge. Kansas gets to retain its challenge.
The more I looked at it, the more I thought it was off Trice, but it was a lot closer than I was anticipating. Yeah. Either way, great hustle from Kevin Young, stealing a possession and erasing 2 points.
Thank you to Anthony Burris for coming over and explaining that to us. Wesley Ford is the crew chief for this three-person officiating crew. Iffy Seals rounding out the official roster tonight. 3 seconds to go in the first quarter. Frank Mason too strong off glass. And that's a shot off the backboard by Kamau Stokes, who did not play last night for Purple Rain, gets his first action of TBT here at the end of the quarter. Thoughts on the first?
Well, Xavier Sneed erupted. He was the best player on the floor, established himself, but all things considered, I thought KU did some good things. I think we got a good game too brewing here in Topeka.
5-point lead for Purple Rain. We move to the second quarter from Lee Arena next.
TBT. Or to learn more about Washburn sports, go to WooSports.com. That's WooSports.com.
This game is brought to you by Skechers Basketball, comfort that performs. We move on to the second quarter. Kansas Alumni versus Kansas State Alumni. And speaking of Kansas Alumni, Nick, that's Christian Brown, who had quite a two-year span winning the national championship for the JHX in 2022, then winning the NBA title with the Denver Nuggets 1 year later.
That's not a bad little run there.
Oh.
The guy on JHX who did that, not in a two-year span, but Mario Chalmers, 2008 champ, and then a back-to-back champ with the Miami Heat as well. But really cool to see Christian Brown in attendance.
Yeah, great point. Chalmers can still say to Christian, "I got one on you."
Got one more ring, man.
One to go.
Another turnover for KU.
They had just two in the first quarter, and a marked improvement over last night. Deontay Robertson out to Kamau Stokes. Air ball. Trice tried to catch and lay it in, but got caught up underneath the rim. Zeke Mayo, short, tipped, and Cartier Jada into the game for the first time for Purple Rain has it, another former Wildcat, number 21.
I get staying confident and having the green light as a shooter, but that's the kind of shot you shoot if you're feeling it. I mean, not that kind of Mayo struggling a little bit here. He's got to take a good-looking three.
In and out on Jada. And a slow start for both teams here in the second quarter. Mason open for three. Off the front iron.
K-State, you got to establish Beasley. He's got to get involved in this game a little bit more.
Beasley open at the bottom of your screen. Robertson thought there was a foul. Mason on a full sprint.
Smart. Beat that defense for it. You can get set. When Kansas State's had their half-court defense set, that's when the turnovers have been problematic. Great push from Frank Mason III.
Played abroad in France last overseas season, now 32 years old. Here's Beasley now on Preston. Wow. I mean, 5 points for Beasley. Preston draws the foul.
Hey, look at how gorgeous this footwork is. Separation, step back. But that is a really difficult shot that Beasley makes look easy.
Preston at the foul line. Preston with 5 points in the first quarter.
Well, what do you think? Is Beasley as talkative as he was last night?
He's a little more subdued, but now that the second quarter is here, I think he's re-engaging.
He did not stop talking the entire day yesterday, from shoot around to the end of the game. Probably talked in his sleep. Talked the whole ride up to Topeka from Manhattan.
Belongs in the conversation for greatest one-and-done players in college basketball history. Set something like 30 Kansas State program records and more than a dozen Big 12 records. But he just picked up another foul, and he's got 2.
Managing emotions always important for Beasley. Take another look at it. When your legs are wider than your shoulders, that's...
Look at that, a botched inbounds play. Beasley intercepted it and then draws the foul on Kevin Young. Beasley ended his conversation with the referee just in time to read that inbounds pass was coming right at him.
I have no idea what Kevin Young was looking at there. Just a mental mistake. Now Beasley will get back to the free throw line. But you said it, his numbers as a freshman: 26 points per game, 12 rebounds. He had 866 points and 408 rebounds his freshman year in Manhattan.
Both the Big 12 freshman and player of the year. Led the Big 12 in scoring and rebounding, and we were talking about this the other day. What a moment in time for the Big 12.
The stretch of transcendently special players in Kevin Durant, Blake Griffin, and Michael Beasley. The Big 12 is always an unbelievable league, but it was riddled with all-time great freakazoid athletes there.
Mason short from 3. Beasley may have altered that shot. Here's Xavier Sneed, who had the big first quarter. No one boxes out Austin Trice.
That's what Trice did. He had 14 points in the second half last night, and a lot of them were rocking the rim. And Sharon Collins has seen it up and wants a timeout.
Kansas State, a 7-point lead, and Kansas needs to talk things over. Back in a moment from Lee Arena. Austin Trice had some impactful plays last night, and his most recent one here tonight, Nick, forces a timeout for Kansas.
Playing to his strengths. He's a rim-running, rim-rocking big who has done that with regularity. The effort and the athleticism has made a huge impact in this series. You get 14 points in the second half yesterday, 16 for the game. That's a heck of a putback dunk.
He was 8 of 9 from the floor last night. That's what happens when you rack up the dunks.
Yeah, high percentage shots.
shots.
It's like a little zone. Oh, no, it's coming out, matching up now.
Preston too strong, gets his own rebound. Misses off the right side. Long pass for Beasley, and Mason hunts him down, but a foul is called.
How many times did we see that last night? At least 3 times where Beasley contested a shot and then runs out ahead of the pack. And he's a big target. And Brandon Childress in particular is really good at those length of the floor passes, and Beasley can go snatch those and score and draw fouls, but pretty smart from Michael Beasley.
Got to get to the free throw line now.
Yeah, he had to go have a conversation with the whole first row and to Sharon Collins before he goes to shoot some free throws. So he battled Sharon Collins on the floor as a player. So there's a little bit of history there.
That season, 2007 and 2008, the regular season matchups were split between the Wildcats and the Jayhawks. And Beasley led Kansas State to its first ever win inside Bramlage Coliseum against Kansas. It took 20 years since the building opened before Kansas State finally beat Kansas on its new home court. Another foul inside. This is on Purple Rain. It's on Xavier Sneed.
Tell you what, these games are hard to officiate. It's just that there's a lot on the line. It's a best of 3 series, but as you can see, there is $2 million to the winner. And these are grown men that are professionals. The games are physical, and in this case, it's a rivalry. So it's a lot you have to manage as an official, where you want to allow dialogue, but dialogue can lead to things escalating. And so there's a balance there of allowing guys to talk their talk, but reel it in when you have to.
1 for 2 at the line for Mason. Here's Beasley guarded by Jacob Hanna, and he makes the dish, but Bragg blocks the shot attempt. Right back the other way for Hanna.
Comfortable in this gym. Jacob Hanna played at Washburn, and that's where he's at his best. Head of steam, terrific athlete. He's a great defender. He was the defensive player of the year at the Division II level in his conference.
Sneed passes off to Beasley. Mayo the rebound.
Dodging a bullet there, giving Beasley that open of a look.
Mason covered up. Preston for 3.
Excellent extra pass from Zeke Mayo. Gave up a good shot for a great one for Mr. Preston.
Just a 3-point lead now.
Another moving screen.
Wow. It's on Abayomi Ijiola. Did not play in the first quarter. He sits.
Nice little response here from the KU alumni, and this crowd is now into it.
Chance to tie the game for Kansas alumni.
Look at Sneed getting the ball.
Mason off the screen. No one boxes out Preston. Bragg on the wing. Shot may have been tipped. Williams, alley-oop for Trice. And a foul against Jayhawks hoops. It's on Jacob Hanna. Third team foul on Jayhawks hoops of the quarter. Hanna picks up his first personal. Win or go home for Jayhawks hoops. Beasley short again. Jayhawks hoops has to win tonight to force a winner-take-all game 3.
Just good, clean looks for Beasley, who just missed him, and it's looking like Lance Harris and Kansas State, they're going to challenge this. Saying the ball was off of K-State. Going to take a look at it.
Three-point lead Kansas State, and official review underway. We'll step aside and and return from Lee Arena. You're watching TBT 2026.
Football schedule and additional information on Washburn Athletics and to purchase tickets. Just go to one spot, WUSports.com.
Kansas State challenged an out-of-bounds call. It was ruled Jayhawks ball. Here's what they're looking at, Nick.
Lance Harris and Kansas State challenging it. Thought Frank Mason touched it last, but unsuccessful challenge. It's going to stay KU ball.
And that means Purple Rain cannot challenge the rest of the game. Now, officials are allowed to initiate reviews in the final 2 minutes. That, in terms of an Elam ending context, applies to when the target score is within 4. But that time of the game is a long ways from now.
Yes, it is. Need help here.
Bragg the catch. Preston smothered by Beasley.
3 blocks last night. Beasley making his presence felt on the defensive end too.
Sneed draws the foul. It's another one on Jacob Hanna, his second. Sneed with 13 points in the first quarter tonight.
What a career for Sneed. 3-year starter, 137 games played at K-State. Was on the 2018 Elite 8 team. Has had a nice professional career.
Played in Italy last season and has actually spent the last 3 seasons playing for Italian clubs. And he draws another foul there. Man. In the act of shooting a 3. This is the second time that's happened. Zeke Mayo picks it up this time for Jayhawks hoops.
The first one, as we looked at, was not a foul. This one looked like Zeke Mayo, excuse me, did foul Xavier Sneed on the 3. Oh yeah, that is a chop.
I was going to say, there should have been one more. Sneed knew it. could they? They could call a line violation there. You know, give him the second free throw again, but it's not being discussed right now. He goes 2 for 3 both times in his three-point foul shooting sequence at the line. Sneed with the steal. No need for free throws that time.
Another pick six, live ball, run out, turnover for Kansas State at the hands of Xavier Sneed.
Anna takes a spill, draws the foul.
Great anticipation, good physicality, just running through that passing lane and finishing it. I have been wildly impressed with Xavier Sneed.
Latest foul on Purple Rain goes against DeJuan Gordon, his third.
You know, that's the one thing about the TBT as well. Some of these guys already have contracts all set professionally, but scouts and different people, they're always watching. And if I'm any sort of professional scout watching Xavier Sneed play, that's what a pro looks like. He's athletic, takes pride on the defensive end of the floor. You've seen that three-point shot has improved.
13 points, 4 rebounds per game in Italy last season, and also had a stint, played a handful of games in Israel.
A very brief cup of coffee. 2 games in the NBA with Memphis, 7 games with the Utah Jazz in 2022. So he's tasted the NBA.
You commented on just the way he plays defense, and you know, that's what you see in the NBA. Guys
That's right.
who can do that.
That are about that size, switchable, can guard a point guard, he can guard a big wing. Good looking player.
Here comes Mario Chalmers. Hannah sits after swishing a couple free throws. 5-point lead. It feels like we've said that all game. It's been a 5-point or so lead for Kansas State. Beasley and Preston, that's been the matchup over the last 2 nights. Air ball from Gordon.
I'd like to see Beasley attack Preston one-on-one there.
Preston unloads, and the ball somehow kicks out to Mayo. Chalmers misses the 3. Like there was a kicked ball in there somewhere. Williams pulls up.
No one got matched up in transition. Got to talk, stop the ball.
Williams has 6. Mason throws it out of bounds.
The turnovers were pretty clean early. They're starting to mount a little bit now for KU.
Williams in his bag. Back-to-back buckets for Williams.
Pretty simple basketball, just hunting the switch, get Andrew Orr on an island against Williams, and Williams attacks. He has really been impactful off the bench.
Out of bounds, it stays with JHX hoops. Xavier Sneed was not on the bench for very long. He is back. Number 20 in purple. Preston looking for a paint touch. Out of bounds. Beasley defending it.
Feels like an important 2 minutes now as Kansas State now is on a little bit of a run. The complexion and the feel of things heading into this second half. You got to close this half out both ways.
Williams hangs and delivers.
I'm not sure if Mario Chalmers was expecting a ball screen and a switch or what happened there, but
here's Bragg. Mayo finishes.
maybe that'll get Mayo going. He'll get an easy layup when you're struggling from your shot from beyond the arc.
And a foul called.
That's the second time now, Chris, that Trice has drawn a foul rolling to the basket. Clearly, he's got Kansas's full attention because he has been terrific rolling and rocking the rim. And so those secondary help side defenders having to sink in. Been really impressed with Trice.
Chalmers just picked up his third personal for Kansas. Austin Trice at the free throw line. He has been excellent in TBT. We mentioned the 16 points last night. You go back to last year, his first summer competing in TBT, had a 20-point game in round one, a win for Purple Rain, and then had a 12-rebound game against JHX Hoops in the second round. Kansas Alumni ultimately won the game, but Trice has been a great asset over the last two summers for Purple Rain.
No doubt about it. Knows who he is as a player, plays to his strengths. He wasn't a big scorer, a big contributor at Kansas State, but in his final year at Old Dominion, he averaged almost a double-double, 13 points, 9 rebounds a game.
0 for 2 at the free throw line. Or for Mayo, who pops a three. Or tips the rebound up, but Childress eventually finds it.
Mayo just can't find it from distance right now. 1 for 7 last night. Struggling again this evening.
His shots have been short a lot. Sneed working on Bragg. Wow. Xavier Sneed has 20.
Another instance where a Wildcat got a switch onto a big and attacked.
Mason off the square.
Kansas State hold for the final shot here. I get the ball to Sneed and let him go to work.
Childress open and buries the three.
Wow.
And then a takeaway. Kansas gets it back. Bragg ahead of the horn into the stands. And late in the second quarter, Kansas took a 5-point lead, and it balloons to 14 at the break. You mentioned the final 2 minutes were going to be pivotal for both teams. Kansas State won those final 2 minutes.
How you close out quarters, massively important. And Kansas State really didn't have their best stuff outside of Xavier Sneed, but in the final 3 minutes, they got it rolling and now comfortably in control. But with that Elam ending looming, no lead is safe.
Fans of both Kansas State and Kansas in the house tonight at Washburn University in Topeka, the state capital. And Purple Rain is 1/2 away from moving on to the semifinal in the alumni bracket of TBT 2026.
sponsor of today's tag board experience inside Lee Arena.
Expecting a capacity crowd of over 4,000 inside Lee Arena. Some Kansas State fans. At halftime, the Kansas State alumni with a commanding lead over the Kansas alumni. And for Purple Rain and JHX Hoops fans alike, show your TBT pride with official Purple Rain and JHX Hoops merchandise. Shop now at thetournament.com and represent your team all tournament long. This booth is located just off the floor right as fans walked into the arena here at Washburn University tonight. A great selection for both the Kansas and the Kansas State fan in the crowd tonight. We'll be back for more halftime coverage from Lee Arena. Don't go anywhere. This is TBT. Kansas just 2 for 11 from three-point range in the first half, and they were not good last night either, Nick. They were just 6 of 23.
And Zeke Mayo needed to lead the charge from beyond the arc, and he is now 1 for 11 from 3 in these 2 games. He's got to find a way to get his long-range jump shot to go down, but more of the same, struggling to take care of the ball. 10 first-half turnovers for Kansas.
Kansas State's defense has been stingy with 7 steals. That dude right there, a big part of the problem for Kansas. Xavier Sneed with a big first half.
Watcher tonight, Nor is turning 3. Happy birthday, Nor.
TBT is brought to you by We Them Ones, official partner of TBT. The Washburn Waterfall. It is great to be on the campus of Washburn University, home of the Ichabods, home of Lee Arena, and game 2 of this best-of-3 series between Purple Rain, the Kansas State alumni team, and JHX Hoops, the Kansas alumni team. When we say Kansas State alumni, Nick, I think we mean the Xavier Sneed and Sean Williams show. They're almost outscoring JHX Hoops right now.
Yeah, really impressive. Williams had 15 points off the bench last night, 11 now in the first half of game 2, and Xavier Sneed has been the difference in this game. He started the game knocking down 3 threes that got him in a rhythm and flow. 20 first half points for that guy right there. And we'll see now Kansas big time on the ropes. need a good start, because obviously the recipe with that Elam ending is you want to be within striking distance, but they got some ground to cover here over the next quarter for that to happen midway through the fourth.
Mason with 9 first-half points for JHX Hoops. Purple Rain starts with the ball. Kansas State led by 13 at the half last night, 14 tonight. Looking to knock off JHX Hoops in 2 games. Beasley with it. He had 9 points in the first half. And a turnover intercepted by Bragg. Preston drives and hits.
Been the recipe for K-State. Those pick 6 turnovers for run out, easy layups. Good activity from Bragg to get a deflection, and then Preston at 6'10". Again, this guy has so much ability.
Foul on Michael Beasley. Preston off the mark on the free throw. Preston on pace to lead JHX Hoops in scoring again. Beasley, the dish to Sneed, who had 20 points to match his jersey in the first half. Trice too strong, second effort works. And Carlton Bragg injured on the floor.
Trice is just an animal on the glass. First, second, third efforts. They get him on the first one. Wet spot, Bragg goes down. Please, all right.
Frank Mason helping out the mock crew.
Of that 2017 National Player of the Year.
All hands on deck.
Showing you a little bit of everything.
Bill Self called Frank Mason the greatest guard he ever coached.
Yeah, said he's for sure had the best season anybody's ever had at KU.
Let's take a look at the TBT bracket while we're at this pause in the action here in Topeka. Earlier tonight, we saw the Kentucky alumni team La Familia knock off Louisville in Game 3. That series went the distance, and now Kentucky awaits the winner of either Seton Hall or Syracuse. Syracuse won big last night. Kentucky has home court advantage, not just in the next round, but the rest of the tournament, as long as La Familia is alive. The Kentucky alumni team has home court advantage.
Which makes a big difference.
Mayo for 3. That's got to help his confidence.
No doubt about it. Again, 1 for 10 from 3 in the 2 games before that one. They need his 3-point shooting. Sometimes all it takes is 1 for you to heat up quick.
Childress for Sneed. Mayo with the steal. A 3-on-1. Hannah lays it in.
A couple of lazy passes from Kansas State leading to some runouts.
And Bragg gets his hand to the passing lane again. It stays with Purple Rain. Suddenly, the lead cut to single digits again. Just 2 points in the quarter for Purple Rain.
It really feels like Beasley has not really put his foot on the gas yet in this game. And Kansas State's going to need Beasley to do that if they want to win this one and sweep the best-of-3 series here.
9 points, 3 rebounds.
I've liked how he's let the game come to him, Chris, but there's a fine line between selfishness and responsibility. Like, it's his responsibility to be aggressive and demand the ball. I know Sneed is hot, but as we saw last night, Beasley is more than a willing passer.
Childress looking for him. Trice rolls, couldn't get it to him. Here's Beasley, shot fake, pull up, kick out. Sneed for three. Hanna the rebound.
Good possession though for K-State.
Dumped down to Bragg. And Beasley took an awkward fall. Bragg lays it in. Beasley back into the action now. Loose ball. Hanna saves it for Bragg. Ahead to Mayo. Mayo! Short.
Boy, this place would have erupted with that three if it would have gone down, but Kansas has taken it up a few notches on this end of the floor.
It was on line. Childress. Wide left. It's Jayhawks hoops ball. And one thing that's interesting, after Purple Rain dominated points in the paint last night, the reverse has happened tonight. Kansas tripling up Purple Rain in paint points, 24-8.
You would have told Teron Collins that. He would have thought they'd have been in the lead, and that's not the case, but still it's a good sign.
Now another turnover. Childress through his hands. Loose ball. Mason saves it. Well, the floor is really wet down there. Mayo for three. Short again. Here are the Kansas alumni portal players, Jacob Hanna and Andrew Orr. You can almost call them quasi-portal players because they played right here at Washburn. Tradeon Holland's an excellent player in the Summit League with Nebraska Omaha. There's Jacob Hanna, who was named the conference newcomer and defensive player of the year in Washburn's Final Four run 2 seasons ago.
Right now, Brandon Childress took a fall down on that baseline and was slow to get up, and now he looks like he's walking back to the locker room. That's huge. He led the team last night in minutes, led the team in assists. He's been the primary ball handler.
And he's one of Kansas State's big portal player adds. Played actually for Danny Manning, the Kansas great at Wake Forest. So we'll see who runs the offense now. Purple Rain brings it up the length of the court. Kamau Stokes into the game. Did not play last night. Has played sparingly so far tonight. Williams step back. Short. Sneed runs down the rebound for Beasley. Corner three.
What an effort from Sneed. Long shot, long rebound around that foul line area.
Orr drives Beasley. Williams hits the Euro step in the lane.
Boy, it felt like momentum was swinging towards KU. Sneed's offensive rebound, huge to get Beasley a triple, and then a little run out for Williams.
Baker's dozen for Sean Williams, playing in America's breadbasket tonight. Mason rattles out, Trice the rebound.
Dodged a bullet there. You can't let Frank Mason get the rhythm.
Beasley on Mason, draws the foul. Beasley slid a ways there.
It is unbelievable how often Kansas State has gotten this. The runouts from Beasley, and he basically posts up with the ball all the way in the other end of the floor. There's just trust to throw it. He'll go get it. Just smart basketball from Michael Beasley.
He's made all 4 of his free throws tonight. And now all 5. Beasley's time in the NCAA tournament was short-lived as well. The Jayhawks were knocked off by Wisconsin that year. He had 23 and 11 in the losing effort.
You could, after the game in the press conference, he said there was a lot of emotions. He almost got a little sad. It's got to be surreal when you take off that uniform. You just dream about being able to put it back on one more time.
Mayo with flourish. You never think about the end of anything,
no.
Really. Stokes, Williams. Jamari Traylor has battled foul trouble tonight. He's on the floor now. Mason behind the backboard. Beasley's got it. Stokes ahead to Williams.
Another outstanding play from Snead.
Just a tad strong on Snead's three-point attempt. Zeke Mayo is getting it going a little bit. He's up to 10. There's a timeout on the floor. This has been the recurring theme. Kansas hanging around. Kansas State having the counter punch every time, but maybe Mayo can spark something for JHX hoops.
He's been ice cold, but in this third quarter, he's gotten not one but two triples to go down. Mayo heating up here at Topeka.
Well, it's good to see Brandon Childress out of the locker room for Kansas State and back on the bench. He is not going back into the game for now, but took a hard slip fall a few minutes ago. And, you know, his impact really goes beyond the box score in a lot of ways.
Absolutely. He has ran the show. He's been the primary ball handler. He's led the team in assists. He led the team in steals last night as well. Led the team in minutes. That's a very important piece that is on the bench for the time being. Hopefully he is okay.
Just thinking about the history of this tournament, a lot of the TBT championship teams have been defined by guard play. Now, Purple Rain, what a tandem they have, kind of at the 3-4 position between Michael Beasley and Xavier Snead.
Oh yeah, unbelievable.
Igiola with the jump shot. You know, Carmen's crew, Ohio State's alumni team had Jared Sullinger, Traylor draws the foul. Montrezl Harrell playing for Louisville. So there have been good bigs and forwards that have played in this tournament.
Yeah, Wesson for Carmen's crew as well.
Yeah.
Was fantastic.
Fouls on Igiola. And now Jamari Traylor to the free throw line. First point of game 2 for Jamari Traylor.
This is such a cool moment, though, for Kansas and Kansas State fans. And part of the fun of being a fan is watching these players come as 18, 19, 20 years old and grow up before your eyes. And now you get to see them as grown men. And look at Mario Chalmers. A lot of Kansas fans remember him as a freshman. Now he's 40 years old. And same thing for Kansas State fans, whether it's Xavier Sneed or Michael Beasley, certainly Frank Mason on the KU side of things as well. Just very rewarding experience for the fans, too.
Williams, too strong off glass. Mason the rebound, pushes the tempo. Numbers for Kansas. Hollins for 3. What a putback by Traylor.
These are these moments where it feels like Kansas is season control, but K-State always seems to have an answer.
Miles Stokes is going to the free throw line. Fouls on Hollins, his first.
Trading Hollins, two-time Summit League Defensive Player of the Year at Nebraska Omaha. Trying to get in Kamau Stokes. As you pointed out, Chris, did not play last night, but on the floor tonight for Purple Rain. He had a heck of a career.
He did. A 4-year player at Kansas State, 2015 to 2019, culminating in a Big 12 regular season championship.
Top 5 in three-point field goals made, 5th in steals, 8th in most starts in program history.
Played overseas in Latvia and Bulgaria last season. It's his first point of TBT 2026. Mayo given a hard time right now, but he finishes at the cup.
Heck of a take through the contact from Zeke Mayo.
Stokes off the mark or the rebound, and Zeke Mayo with 10 of his 12 points in the third quarter. Mason. That's the Frank Mason they know and love.
4-point game.
K-State needs a timeout. The lead has been cut to 4. There's a lot of time left. 2:01 to go in the third. Kansas trying to force a game 3 in TBT. Frank Mason III, I mean, it just feels like as he goes, Kansas is going to go.
100%. These early drag ball screens are dangerous with Frank Mason. He can pull up from 3, but he can also attack and get to the rim as well. He has played much better tonight than he did in game 1. And Kansas on a nice surge here, as it felt like KU was big time on the ropes. Brandon Childress went out of the game. Kansas goes on a run. Childress back in now, but we got ourselves a ball game.
This is the closest the score has been since it was 31-27. You were asking this, Nick. Purple Rain led by as many as 14. Williams drops it off for Sneed. He rises and fires. Big bucket out of the timeout.
Very big. That's something Kansas State has always just staved off KU. Did it last night and tonight with timely shots.
Trailer fouled by Igiola, and he's going to the line.
So Igiola's got to understand there's no need to be crowding Jamari Trailer 45 feet from the basket.
Igiola's going to the bench after picking up his third. John Florvius checks into the game for Purple Rain. And Trailer has had a good third quarter, sat for much of the first half with 3 fouls, but 4 points here in the quarter and a chance for more.
It's funny, basketball can be complicated, but it can be simple. Your scorer's got to score. And in this third quarter, Zeke Mayo has started to score the ball, and Frank Mason really throughout the game has played much better offensively in comparison to last night.
Brendan Childress back on the floor for Purple Rain, Nick.
Let's keep an eye on how well he's moving after that hard fall.
Trailer 1 for 2. Purple Rain ball. If it's a 5-point game going into the Elam ending, buckle up.
No doubt about it.
Childress for 3. He's moving pretty well.
If not, nothing quite like a three-pointer for a pain reliever as well.
That's the best Advil on the market.
Yeah, that's it. That's real-life basketball ibuprofen right there.
Now Mayo throws up a prayer. Trailer keeps the play alive. Hollins guarded by Gordon. Gordon giving him a hard time. Gordon, awkward Euro step, and a foul is called. He gets bailed out on the personal by Frank Mason. That's Mason's third.
Those are the moments where I don't understand how you don't drop that back to the Trailer. I think it was Sean Williams. As you said, bailed out a little bit there with a foul, but a careless turnover from Tradeon Hollins.
Lost count of how many times that touched the rim. It goes for DeJuan Gordon. Trailer sits. Hannah back into the game for Jayhawks hoops along with Bragg and Preston. Gordon almost did it again.
That's hard to do.
Michael Beasley on the bench for Purple Rain. Bragg back out to Mayo. Mayo finds his spot. 2-point try. Preston tips it in. 14 for Billy Preston to lead Jayhawks hoops. Final 10 seconds of the third. Quarter won by Jayhawks hoops. Gordon loses it out of bounds. It's Jayhawks hoops ball. 2 seconds left on the clock. It was a 14-point game at halftime.
Nice surge here from KU.
Mason gets it off. Wide left. But Kansas takes momentum into the fourth quarter, down 7. They have a pulse.
Their stars started shining. Zeke Mayo got it rolling. Frank Mason, Billy Preston. We got a good fourth quarter on deck with the Elam ending just around the corner here in Topeka.
We're playing to a target score when we get under 4 minutes. Do or die for Jayhawks hoops. They need this one to extend the series.
The
This is at least the second Frank Mason sign we've seen in the house tonight. Young fan named after Frank Mason, KU's best indeed. 6th all-time in points, 1,885 career points. Scored in his 4-year Kansas career from 2013 to 17, and he's leading Jayhawks hoops back into this game against Purple Rain, the Kansas State alumni team.
Frank Mason looking like himself tonight after struggling with 7 turnovers last night in Manhattan. We're going to have a war here in this 4th quarter.
Kansas shot the ball well in the 3rd quarter, 10 of 19 from the floor. Kansas State shot very well last night, 52% for the game last night. They're down around 43 here tonight. Foul called here. And it's on DeJuan Gordon. That's his 3rd.
His 3rd personal, first team foul on Purple Rain.
Looked like the message at that break was to take the defense up a notch for K-State. Multiple guys into the basketball.
Mason doesn't pull the trigger. Mayo had a big 3rd quarter. Loses it on the way up, draws the foul.
Zeke Mayo has done a much better job in this game of not just standing on the 3-point line. He has driven the ball to the basket, got a couple of layups, and there, excellent jump stop and shot fake to draw a foul.
Gordon picks up another foul. He's got 4. You get 6 in TBT games.
What a great story Zeke Mayo is. He's from Lawrence, Kansas, grows up dreaming about playing for KU. The dream doesn't come true initially, so he goes to South Dakota State, where he is a stud, the Summit League Player of the Year, ultimately finishes career as a senior at Kansas, averages 15 points per game.
Oh, he missed both free throws, but then a foul called in the battle for the rebound. It's on John Florvius of Purple Rain. So Purple Rain giving Jayhawks hoops a couple of cracks at this possession here. Mason too high off glass. Bragg too strong off glass. Williams gathers. Has Preston on his heels. Out of bounds, it stays with Kansas State.
You should see how long Lance Harris wants to keep Beasley on the bench and rest him. Not a horrible idea to save whatever he's got in the tank left for the Elam ending.
Snead catch and shoot. Bottoms.
Great execution in a base on out of bounds situation. Little pick the picker.
Game high 24 for Xavier Snead. Mason. Bounce pass. Hannah. Just like he did as an Ichabod.
Just a great cutter off the ball. Jacob Haney's not a great 3-point shooter. He understands that, so you got to cut to the rim off of penetration.
Anna scored 10 points in both games of this series for Jayhawks hoops. Snead fires. He has been the man of the moment.
And that's over 6'10" Billy Preston.
27. He's not going to give Mayo a clean look, that's for sure. Now Preston tiptoes, short. Rebound Trice. Lead back to 10 for Purple Rain.
He's got to headhunt Xavier Snead and free him up. There he is.
He's wide open, Nick. Just missed. There's a foul on the floor.
Let's just see how this foul is. After the shot, it looked like he barreled into, Billy Preston barreled into Xavier Sneed.
That's just Preston's first foul. You know, that would have been the third time Sneed was fouled on a three-point shot in this game.
Mental mistake to step off him, all things considered.
No one covered up to Juan Gordon, his first field goal of the night.
But Trice's roll sucked in the help defense and freed up the three-point line.
Mayo. Euro step off the heel, and he pokes it out of bounds. Purple Rain ball. We'll play with the game clock until we get under 4 minutes. Then the Elam ending will go into effect. We'll turn off the game clock, play to a target score 8 points greater than the leading team score.
Foul off the ball. Billy Preston gets switched on to Sneed, knows that he is hot. He gets grabbing him.
Second team foul of the quarter, both on Preston. Gordon for Childress. That's off. Jayhawks hoops have it. Lance Harris, head coach for Kansas State Alumni. Hanna closed out. Mason, baseline, tight quarters, and a foul call. The foul is on Sneed, his second.
And here comes Michael Beasley, a well-rested Michael Beasley. And he's got closing this game out on his mind now. And Sneed will get a nice rest before the Elam ending too.
Beasley with 14 points tonight, following up a 20-point effort last night. He's been matched up on Billy Preston most of this game and last night's game. Trice the rebound. And Beasley falls.
Like he was trying to do one of his patented early post-ups on Billy Preston. Not sure exactly what happened.
He is sliding his way over to the bench. Seems to have a good sense of humor about this, but
I'm not sure, Chris. I'm not sure what. Initially, I thought it was maybe he rolled an ankle, but maybe got kneed. I'll say this: when you get older, he's 37, 38 years old, taking a look at it. Injuries happen a little easier the older you get, but hopefully he's okay.
Talking to folks in the gym who say that he lives in the gym. That's basically all he does. He's in exceptional shape. So hopefully just a tweak and not a significant issue here. There have been issues on that end of the floor tonight with a slippery playing surface. unclear if he's going to remain in this game or not.
Looks like he is. Well, that's good to see if you're a Purple Rain fan, to see Beasley back on the floor here. What do we talk about? What's good ibuprofen, basketball ibuprofen?
A three-pointer. And he's got a few of those tonight. Maybe just a basket of any.
I would say just a basket.
Beasley, baseline left. Foul called on Andrew Orr.
I mean, it's a difficult assignment for anybody, but for Andrew Orr, who's played Division II basketball at Washburn, put on an island against Beasley, not a recipe for success.
Beasley up high now. Off the front rim, Trice, lucky bounce. Trice just hauled in his 10th rebound of the night. He had 12 in a game against JHX Hoops last TBT. And whistle off ball. I think Orr collided with Beasley.
Yeah, Orr was going to be ahead of the pack. Good hands there getting that deflection, and Beasley grabbed him.
Beasley's third.
He just wrapped him up.
You mentioned Andrew Orr, one of the former Washburn stars on this JHX Hoops roster. Back after his first overseas season in Denmark, averaged over 20 points a game in the Danish league.
He had a heck of a career here. 99 starts in 4 years, 12th all-time in the Washburn scoring list. Both him and Hannah were really good here for Washburn, playing for former Jayhawk Brett Ballard, who is in the house. One of my favorite guys, a great young coach.
He was just a little bit ahead of you at Kansas back in the day. Sean Williams tries to thread the needle, and Zeke Mayo with the takeaway leads Frank Mason over the half-court line. Mason is going to the free throw line. Foul on Kamal Stokes. We are getting very close to Elam ending time.
So every point so vital. They're not eye-popping numbers there from Frank Mason, but just in much more command tonight in comparison to last night, where he turned the ball over 7 times.
Just 3 of 11 from the floor last night. 5 for 15 tonight. Sharon Collins looking on. Kansas great, coaching JHX Hoops. 10-point game. See if JHX Hoops can get a stop and a score here before the Elam ending. Hannah almost picked that pass. Beasley. Hannah the rebound. Ahead to Orr. Orr. Too strong off to the right. Battle for the ball. Helping everybody up here. There was a foul called.
You can feel the palpable desperation from Kansas. This is the best of 3 series. Game 1 went to Kansas State, so KU is playing for their TBT tournament lives. As you can see on your screen, $2 million prize to the winner of this. And whatever is in the tank, emotionally, competitively, spiritually, physically, is going to get emptied out from KU here down the stretch.
Hannah hits the free throw, and these late free throws for JHX Hoops with the clock not moving. Huge.
Now some strategy. You'd imagine the K-State can call a timeout once that gets to under 4. We'll see what Lance Harris wants to do.
Well, Trice is blocked, and JHX Hoops with another chance before the Elam ending to tighten this game.
I think that's a mistake from Kansas State.
Jacob Hanna for 3. Short. It stays with Jayhawk basketball, so they can still score again before the Elam ending starts. It's the first stoppage under 4 minutes. Bucket here would be huge for JHX Hoops. Gordon up in Mayo's space. 5 on the shot clock. Mayo throws it away. Williams lays it in, but JHX Hoops can keep the play alive here. I mean, I guess now you have a 10-point lead, but if Kansas gets these points right back, it's kind of a moot point. Mayo for 3. Beasley the rebound. Now somebody, he loses it to Preston, who puts it in. Now a timeout, and finally the Elam ending begins, but I guess it's an 8-point lead. It's kind of where we were at the 4-minute mark, but an unconventional start to the Elam ending here. Preston go with the final points before the Elam ending, and Beasley on the floor.
And we got ourselves a target score. 83. Elam ending time, baby.
Win or go home for Kansas Alumni.
Here in the arena. Again, the target score is 83.
Say goodbye to the game clock. You won't see it again tonight. Target score of 83 has been set. First to 83 wins this game. It is win or go home for Kansas. Win and move on for Purple Rain, Kansas State's alumni team. Target score equal to the leading team score +8. And we play without a game clock until one team hits that magic number. We are playing to 83 tonight.
Well, Michael Beasley's stayed on the ground a couple of times. He's still kind of limping around, but It's been Sneed who's had the hot hand all game long. Got to continue just playing how you've been playing if you're Kansas State, even though it's the Elam ending.
Childress loses it. Hannah almost with a steal, and it caroms to Mayo. Mayo tries to sell the foul. Frank Mason for three. Great start for JHX hoops.
Officials, I think, wanted to look to see if it was a 2 or a 3.
You're absolutely right.
Yep. Every point matters during the Elam ending. Take another look at it. What great defense leading to a run out. Hard to tell there. Looked like he was behind the line, but not a great vantage point.
Gosh. Is that right foot, that right toe just on the line?
Not sure there's enough there exclusively to overturn that to make this a 2. I would think this is going to stay a 3.
I agree with you.
It's a 3.
16 points for Frank Mason. And just a 5-point game now. You can look at this like Kansas State needs 8 to win. Kansas needs 13 to win. Now last night, Kansas State handled the Elam ending about as well as any team ever has. They ended in 4 possessions, scored every time they had the ball. Now they turned it over their first possession of this Elam ending.
Got to get this guy a ball. I mean,
Beasley, yes.
He's one of the best one-on-one scorers on planet Earth, and in the Elam ending, you need somebody like that.
16 for Bees, and Kansas State is 6 points away. Or off glass.
Boy, Orr has really provided a nice lift here in this second half. Go right back to it. Just if you can get back to a high pick and roll with Beasley.
Sneed for 3. Mayo the rebound. Kansas State not quite as crisp in the Elam ending tonight. And a foul is called on Brandon Childress of Purple Rain.
Just love Kansas has taken their defense up a notch, and offensively they've played with a little bit more pace and purpose. And listen to this KU crowd.
$17 for Mason.
State KU ball.
Yes, that was a bonus free throw. Thank you for reminding me. 1 free throw plus the ball for bonus free throws in the Elam ending. Orr draws the foul. It's on Beasley.
How about Andrew Orr? It's his home gym, folks.
That's right, it sure is.
You're in my house now, Michael Beasley. A little up and under, and draws a foul. I tell you, wanted to try to get it back to Frank Mason or Zeke Mayo, but just had a lot of real estate. Draws the foul.
Orr's going to get 2 free throws out of this. He's 1 for 2 at the line tonight. Native of Overland Park, Kansas. Blue Valley North High School, and he's drawn the Michael Beasley assignment in the 4th quarter, and Elam ending now.
Those two have had a friendly conversation for a lot of the game, Billy Preston and Michael Beasley.
They have, as Orr misses 2 pivotal free throws. Still a 4-point game, first to 83 wins. Williams for Trice.
Great recognition from Sean Williams. Could have taken the 3. Last second, sees Trice all by himself.
That's one of your keys to the Elam ending. Take the 2.
No doubt about it. Sometimes you fall in love with the 3.
Oh, Frank Mason, he's looking like himself. Kansas State is 4 points away. Sneed. And a foul is called on JHX hoops.
I love it. In these Elam endings, you have to continue to execute. You can't get stagnant and run ISO ball. Kansas State runs a set play for Sneed, and it ends in a foul. Going back with Carlton Bragg now, defensively.
Bragg almost with the steal. Childress, Williams, Sneed, Beasley, Trice on the floor for Purple Rain. In and out. Trice fighting for the rebound. JHX hoops has it. Mayo outside the arc. Waits for the traffic to clear. Boom! Foul called on Mayo. Childress thinks it should be a shooting foul.
Look like the ref called it a shooting foul in real time. It's a huge call.
We are within 4 points of the target score, so this is beyond a challengeable play, but the referees have full discretion to review.
It was smart, though, from Childress. Right as Mayo was fighting over that screen, he identified it and just went into a shooting motion, and there was nothing Mayo could do. I think they're not calling it a shooting foul.
But it is a bonus free throw.
Yes, could have been 3 free throws, but Childress knocks down a big free throw, and K-State now is 3 points away. This ball's got to get to Beasley. This doesn't need to be a 3 if you're K-State. Obviously, if you're KU, you got to run these Wildcats off the arc.
Childress for the win. Mason the rebound. JHX hoops still alive. Mason, 21.
Boy, Frank Mason has turned it on in crunch time, Elam ending time.
A three-pointer wins it for either team. Sneed for the win. Strong, loose. Preston has it.
Got to get matched up and pressed out if you're K-State on Mayo and Frank Mason.
3-ball wins it for JHX hoops and extends the series. And Kansas calls a timeout. What do you want if you're Kansas, a 2 or a 3?
To me, you take the best shot available. But Frank Mason is gassed, and he needed a timeout to catch his breath. Kansas State obviously is going to understand that they need to press out for no threes, and so often you end up getting hyper-focused on taking a three, and instead you could easily just go get a quick two, or an easy two, I should say. But you got to get the ball to Frank Mason and let him go to work. Maybe set a ball screen and slip out of it to create some indecision on whether or not a switch is happening or you're sticking with it, and that's exactly what Kansas State's going to be talking about. In this sort of situation, you want to switch all screens and press out to the three-point line. So communication has to be on point if you're Kansas State, and so because of that, you want to run something that puts a premium on communication if you're KU, to see if you can free yourself up for a three or a driving lane.
All you wanted was some drama.
Yes.
In TBT. Nick, you got what you wanted.
That's right. This has been a blast.
Kansas State, it's not over yet, but if they lose this game, they are going to rack their brains over how they handled the transition from the fourth quarter to the Elam ending. They allowed JHX hoops to take a full head of steam into the Elam ending. This was Purple Rain's game to lose. They haven't lost it yet. Mason! Loose ball. Preston saves it. Nearly a turnover. It's JHX ball. They're going to review this.
I thought in real time it was the right call. Childress almost had a pick six. Steal layup. They're staying with KU.
I thought there could have been a foul in there somewhere.
There was some collision. Mario Chalmers checking into the game. Has not played a lot in this second half, but he only hit the biggest shot in Kansas basketball history in the 2008 National Championship game. So very comfortable in these moments representing KU.
He's got a flair for the dramatic. Mason misses the layup. Bragg is stripped. Ball is free. Purple Rain ball.
Oh, man. I love the decision from Mason to just go get the two and just missed it.
Number 2,
And now Lance Harris wants a timeout.
I'm surprised no one asked for a review on the call out of bounds there. Maybe it was clear cut, but okay, they are going to review it. I think that's prudent. The officials tonight have been excellent in their in-game communication.
You want to make that decision, Chris Foster?
I think it's Kansas ball.
Mason. It might touch Childress's finger last, but it is really close. Again, there's got to be enough evidence to overturn it. The call on the floor is K-State ball.
Here's another angle. I guess the question is Frank Mason's right hand.
I'm just not sure there's enough there to overturn this. It is close. Potentially a $2 million level challenge here and decision.
Win and move on for Kansas State. Win or go home for Kansas. Pivotal call on the floor here. Ruled Kansas State ball.
Officials are done looking at the monitor now. They're talking about it. I'm just not sure there's enough there to overturn it. But I can see this going either way.
There are several Kansas fans, and the call stands. It's Kansas State ball. There were several Kansas fans pointing the opposite direction.
And it's what we were saying. Call stands. There was not enough to overturn it.
Okay.
Michael Beasley was out of the game. That timeout allowed Beasley to get back in the game. Same sort of school of thought for K-State. It doesn't need to be a three. And if you're KU, you've got to make sure you're pressing out and not giving up any threes.
Both teams are in the bonus. A stupid foul could be deadly here because it would be one free throw plus the ball. Williams for three. Brick. Teams are settling for bad shots.
Again, you just get focused on when you're within three of it needing to be a three. It doesn't need to be a long-range jumper. Chalmers back in the game now.
He can't be in it just as a decoy, right? You got to run him something.
Well, the ball's going to be in Mason's hands, and if you help, Chalmers is ready to rise and fire.
Preston, short.
I'd give Michael Beasley the basketball.
Timeout. Kansas State. I go back to what you always say, take the two.
It's one of my observations over the years watching the Elam ending. People get to this point and they just get tunnel vision and locked on that target score when we're doing within three, that it has to be a three.
It's again, it's Kansas State ball, so take the two. Jayhawks hoops is 6 of 24 from three-point range tonight. Your defense has been your strong suit in this series. Take the two and let your defense come up with a stop and then go down and win the game. Say that for either team at this point, but it's Kansas State ball.
The biggest thing is you want a high-quality shot. If it happens to be a three, great, but the last couple of shots have been off balance, off the dribble threes for people that are just low percentage shots. Let's see what Lance Harris wants out of this timeout. Snead's been the hot hand, but this is Michael Beasley's specialty. These moments where he can get isolated and attack.
He has 2 points in the Elam ending tonight. Playing to 83, a three-ball wins it for either team. Snead. Beasley has yet to touch it this possession. Childress blocked. Beasley never touched it. Hannah. Mason for Mayo, the sharpshooter. Mayo drives. Good hands by Williams.
Foul.
It's on Brandon Childress of Purple Rain. So it's one shot and the ball. Jacob Hannah will go to the line. Neither team has been great at the line tonight, but Hannah is 4 for 4. Remember, he played in this gym.
Wow.
The silver lining for Jayhawks hoops is they keep the ball, but it would have opened up virtually everything in the playbook if you needed a 2 to win.
Again, your communication has to be on point. If you're switching, if you're sticking with guys.
Preston, 2-ball, in it goes. And Jayhawks hoops needs 1 to win and extend this series to a decisive 3rd game. Purple Rain can still end it here. Childress, Trice, he misses. It's Jayhawks hoops ball. A bucket of any kind wins it for Kansas Alumni.
A nice need to not let Mason get it back.
Chalmers sets the screen. Mason puts it in. Bucket counts. Rock, chalk, Jayhawk. We got a game 3.
What a back against the wall performance from KU. Down 14 and scratch and claw their way back into this thing. You knew you needed a big game from Frank Mason, and you got it. 23 points from the 2017 National Player of the Year.
Kansas ends the game on a 24-7 run and stuns Kansas State to set up a winner-take-all game 3 in the first round of TBT. 84-80 Kansas, the final. What a chapter added to this rivalry and TBT lore. We'll be back to wrap this one up in a moment. Stick around. An electrifying finish to Game 2 of this best-of-3 series as Kansas beats Kansas State 84-80 and forces a Game 3 in Round 1 of TBT. Welcome back courtside from inside Lee Arena in Topeka. Nick Bach, Chris Fosters, and the hero of the Elam ending, Frank Mason III, of course, of the Kansas alumni team. Frank, I've covered you at this tournament before. Your expression on the court always looks the same no matter what the situation is. But how are you feeling after a thrilling finish tonight?
I'm feeling really good. After the game the night before wasn't really good. A lot of turnovers. We didn't execute on the defensive end, but I'm very excited about, how we are moving forward.
What was it, 24-7 run? Is that what it was,
yes,
Chris?
To
so you
end
guys
the game.
closed the game on a 24-7 run. At one point, you guys were down 14. What was the difference down the stretch?
I think the difference is just picking it up on the defensive end. Our intensity coming out in the second half, making them feel us more, getting out in transition, and just getting easier looks and executing.
What do you think of the best-of-3 series?
Oh, that's great. I love the new format, so I'm really excited. And, if it would have been the way it was in the past with one-game elimination, we wouldn't be here today. So I think it's a really good format, and I'm excited about Game 3.
Well, we've got the final play queued up here, and we would love to review it with you. Take us through this. What are you seeing as this develops?
I saw Beasley in front of me. I know he don't want to slide his feet, so I just attacked him. And it was a good look on the floater, but I just stayed with it, and I got the tip back.
How many offensive rebound tip backs you got in your KU career?
That's probably the first one ever. But it was the most important one.
Important one right there, no doubt about it. Frank, what was it like? The gym was terrific today. KU fans, we saw tons of signs for you from kids, obviously Jayhawk fans. Just what's it like to have Jayhawks across your chest and repping KU again?
It was awesome, man. I love the TBT tournament because I get to come back to Kansas and, reunite with the fans. A lot of them really, supported me throughout my 4 years at KU, and just, to have that atmosphere and, the awesome fans cheering me on during the summer. It's really amazing to me, and I really appreciate them, and I look forward to Game 3 and having them there in Manhattan.
Does this bring back memories of playing Kansas State specifically, all the battles that you had with your in-state rival?
Yeah, it's a different atmosphere, but it definitely brings back memories when I was in college. But it's always important to try to beat those guys whenever we lace them up.
Well, an amazing comeback tonight, a TBT game for the ages, and congratulations on a great win. We'll talk to you down I-70 in Manhattan.
Thank you guys. Appreciate it, man.
Good job, Frank.
All right.
Frank Mason, 23 points to lead Kansas Alumni to a stunning 84-80 win. Again, outscoring the Kansas State Alumni team 24-7 down the stretch. And, well, I mean, if they're going to play like that, I'll take 300 games.
Yeah, absolutely.
Not just
best
3.
of 7.
Yeah, exactly.
Let's make it a best of 7. That was incredible drama. And that's what the TBT provides, and that's what the Elam ending provides, and that's what a best-of-3 series provides. And you knew you were going to get a desperate Kansas team. I thought that desperation manifested itself in that 24-7 run to close things out. Multiple guys making plays, but ultimately your star has to shine if you want to advance and win in this tournament. Frank Mason is that guy for KU. He stepped up when his team needed it, finished with 23 big points, including the, I guess, first rebound put back
of his career.
Of his career
as
the Elam ending winner in Game 2. Cannot wait for Game 3.
That was a great question. All right, we've got Game 3 on the docket now from Bramlage Coliseum in Manhattan. So much more great TBT action tomorrow on FS1. Game 2 of the Seton Hall-Syracuse battle. That game will be at the Cuse. And if Syracuse wins, they move on to take on the Kentucky alumni team in the next round of TBT 2026. We're not done yet. Kansas State going to Game 3. Wichita State and New Mexico in action tomorrow as well. Keep it right here on the Fox family of networks and YouTube. TBT 2026 rolling on across the basketball landscape this summer. For Nick Bach, I'm Chris Fosters. Have a great night.